What's a wire detector, and how'd you first learn about it?
Oh, the Wire Detector. Yes, that was an interesting case. I was with Van Marsh. By the way, Van Marsh got transferred to Detroit, where I think he retired out of, and we do talk, not as much as I should. And thank you for reminding me. I will be calling him when I get back out of it. He's not a finer human being than Van Marsh, and I owe him a lot. The guy was really very smart. But anyway, the Wire Detector. We were at this Cuban restaurant in North Fifth Street called El Kibuc, which is a river in Cuba. So anyway, the guy was sitting there. The guy we bought dope from and was trying to set up another deal with some other dopers. And the guy says to me, he goes, "Oh man," he goes, "I'm meeting with this guy." He says, I go, "Yeah, what about? You know him?" I go, "No, never heard of him." He says, "Yeah, but I'm ready for him." And I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "I got this new thing now, a detection that I bought from the spy shop that, they have it all over New York and all. What's that called? The spy shop." Anyway.
It was called the Spy Shop. That was the name of it.
Okay. And he says,
Yeah.
"I got this box here that I put it on, and it will detect if you weren't a transmitter or a wire." I said, "You got to be kidding me, right?" I said, "Man, you don't trust this guy?" I said, "Don't even do business with the guy." I said, "Forget about it." So some other guy chips in, "Yeah, let me see it." Meanwhile, I'm rolling at that time, right?
You're wearing
a recorder,
at the time.
and the guy is going, "Let me see it." Like I feel like smacking him. So anyway, the guy goes and he gets it, and he comes back and it's off, right? So I'm going, "Oh, this is going to get caught. I'm done." So then I said, "Oh my God, I got beep. I got to go. I got to go, guys. Take care." And wound up getting out of there. But before I left, though, he turned it on because I heard him and it didn't catch. When I went back to the office and I asked about that device because I never heard of it, they said that it picks up radio frequencies from the transmitter. Now, what a wire is what you use to record the conversation. A transmitter is what transmit to on a radio frequency to the guys outside. So if they hear the stuff is hitting the fan, they're going to come in. So that's what it picked up, not the wire. It would pick up the radio frequency. So we would have been safe with the wire. But it kind of gave you that pucker factor, like,
Right.
What the hell is this wire thing? I never knew it existed, but I guess in the spy shop, they got all the toys to prevent corporate espionage or whatever.
Right. In the course of a week, what was an average amount of time that you would spend actively in an undercover persona?
Man, I would say pretty much all the time, the whole week, because I'd either be bouncing from case to case or I would be back in the office. I took a secret way in and be doing paperwork and speaking with the agents, or else they come see me in one of my many apartments that I had. And we review. So everything was really done as an undercover. In fact, when they had the inspection staff that comes in every 3 years or whatever it comes in, I had no cases assigned to me. So these bean counters come around because all they do, they're trying to jack you up, So they come in and they go, "Wait a minute, you don't have an informant? You don't have any cases?" I go, "I don't have any informant. I'm handling all these informants in this case undercover. I don't have any cases because I'm doing undercover work." So that presented a problem. And of course, they changed it after that because no other agent was working so many cases simultaneously like I was. It's usually one guy works the case and that's it. He works it for the extension and then he comes back in. I was jumping case to case to case.
Yeah, I definitely want to get into that. That was, I mean, the book is unbelievable, bro. It's unbelievable, but it's told with such a depth of authenticity that it's real.
Thank you.
You
Yeah.
know, Operation BT Express, which resulted in 85 indictments, 18 fled, 62 were convicted, but 2 were acquitted. How were those 2 able to avoid conviction?
I remember one of them. The other, I don't. There was this woman, and only in America, I guess. This woman comes in. I got a video camera of her. I'm sitting behind a chair. We had talked before. She was ready to business. And I said, look, let me taste the kilo. Let me just see what it's like. I'll move it and let me know how much. I don't know. At that time, it fluctuated. It was like the stock market. Sometimes it was 30,000, then 15,000, 20. So it was all over the map. And it's all supply and demand. So she comes in and she goes, I got one, takes it out of her bra, a kilo, a brick, and hands it to me on it. So we left with that in motion. A couple of days later, I called her up and I said, hey, how you doing? I says, we talk code like, hey, this is pretty, that street that we met at was great. They love the eggs you bought. It's fantastic. Why don't we meet again? The woman said, I said to her, she goes, no, I'm not doing it anymore. I says, why not? She goes, me retiré. Now in Spanish, that means you retired. Mm-hmm. So we go to trial. She goes to trial and says that retired means you walked away from the life. And in Cubans, we use retired as somebody who retired. And she used another word, which I can't even remember what it was. So meanwhile, even though there was a picture of her handing me a kilo, she still was acquitted. Yeah, what? That's why I said only in America. They said because she retired from the life, meaning that she didn't do anything. The woman walked on the trial. She walked. We were all in shock. I mean, the assistant United States attorney was in shock, couldn't believe it. I mean, like I said, we have the video with her delivering it. We come back and then she said she retired. I asked her, did you retire? And she said, yes. Like, meaning, we want more. And that's what happened. So it was all like, anyway, you can't look at your losses. And we were very happy with the results of that case. And,
Did any of the other fugitives, the 18 fugitives, did any of them ever get caught?
I left because I was transferred to New York. And the answer to that is yes. And a lot of them flipped. A lot of them flipped, which is what you want. See, when you go to trial, people don't understand it. With the FBI, you don't want to go to trial because trial is a pain. I mean, you got to review cases. You got to review all your 302s, which are your reports. You got to constantly meet with the United States Attorney's Office. There's so much work. You would prefer that person makes a deal because that way it's done. It's over. Now, if it behooves the defendant to take a plea if they're guilty because they're going to get a lower sentence or exposure to a sentence if they plea as opposed to go to trial and they're found guilty. If they're found guilty, they're going to get the top of the line where this doesn't. But some people choose to go to trial no matter what. One of them is a guy like John Gotti and a lot of the mobsters and the Gambinos, and some of the family insist on going to trial no matter what evidence you have, except for the Genovese, the West Side guys, they're also known as the West Side. Those guys believe in take your plea if they got you and get back on the street and do what you do best, make money. So a lot of people choose to take the plea as opposed to go to court. And if you have to go to court, it's a very lengthy process. It's
right. And expensive.
Oh, it's super expensive. I mean, defense attorneys. I mean, I've been cross-examined by some of the best, Kunstler, and these guys are not cheap in any way. And Philadelphia had one, a guy named Jacob. He was a fantastic lawyer, but he comes with a price. And if you want to get a public defendant, then good luck. You're going to hope that the person is going to bail you out. But, they're just starting out, I guess.